If you're tired of the same old, safe, straight-to-streaming movies and you want something a bit edgier, like a low-budget Grindhouse flick, nobody's doing that better than Tubi right now, even though over half this list is also included with Prime Video, Shudder, and other streaming services you're paying for. Check the list recap for those details, but we've got over a dozen down and dirty midnight movies loaded with lewd and graphic content. Yeah, some gore, but these movies are also packed with lust, greed, ninjas, black sheep, porn stars, and perversions.
And totally dangerous.
So give me a few minutes of your time and I will introduce you to some wild movies you've never heard of. Thanks to Delete Me for sponsoring this video. We're gonna get started with some classic Grindhouse flicks though, famous ones you've likely seen. Then the second half of this video will focus on some more recent Grindhouse flicks most people have missed. Tubi's got a bunch of great ones right now, like Hazard, 12-Hour Shift, Wolfcop, and a lot more. But let's start with those familiar ones like From Dusk Till Dawn, a movie that was essentially written to help showcase new gore effects, and this movie is loaded with them, or rather the concept was created for that, and they brought Tarantino on to help write the script. He and Robert Rodriguez, who was just coming off his success with El Mariachi and Desperado, made this wild crime movie that flips halfway through and becomes a horror flick with the exact same structure that they used in this year's vampire flick Sinners. It works now, it worked back then. From Dusk Till Dawn is an awesome movie that checks all of the Grindhouse boxes. But speaking of that, they also have Robert Rodriguez's Planet Terror and Tarantino's Death Proof. These were released as a Grindhouse double feature when they came out in theaters. It was an awesome way to see these movies, and yes, they're kind of like faux Grindhouse flicks with all the extra little effects and things, but they're still awesome. I mean, Planet Terror is just a knockdown, drag-out zombie movie. It is over the top in all of the best ways, and then Death Proof is like one of Tarantino's slower movies that then becomes insanely fast-paced with just awesome real life stunt work. It's such an incredible like climax to an otherwise, relatively slow Tarantino flick.
Hey, ladies, that was fun.
But another classic that is definitely not a faux Grindhouse flick is Re-animator.
But you're insane. Now what happened? I had to kill him. He's dead? Not anymore.
Easily one of the best adaptations to H.P. Lovecraft, even though Re-animator doesn't really have all the creepy tentacled creatures and stuff you might expect from H.P. Lovecraft. If you've never seen it, Re-animator is just like a modern day telling of Frankenstein. It's a very cool flick. It's got a self-aware B-movie vibe. It's fairly funny at times while always being really bloody, but it's also tongue-in-cheek. It's a bit edgy, not just for its time. I mean, there's some stuff in this movie that's still edgy today, like most of the stuff on this list.
You'll never get credit for my discovery. Who's going to believe a talking head get a job in a sideshow?
It will scare you to pieces.
But for a raunchy throwback alien vampire flick, I've got one that's awesome. It's filled with loads of practical effects, and I know mass audiences have either forgotten about it or have never seen or even heard of Lifeforce, directed by Tobe Hooper. Now, like I said, alien, vampires, I mean, the entire opening sequence takes place in outer space. This beautiful alien woman is brought back to Earth, and she's, like a soul-sucking vampire. I say vampire loosely, that's kind of in the description, and I don't use the word raunchy lightly. There's a lot of nudity in this one. It's kind of a sexy flick, but I also said loaded with practical effects. This is a great Halloween season watch, and like I said, it's directed by Tobe Hooper, who's most famous for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He did a bunch of movies I really like, including Poltergeist. A lot of people think Steven Spielberg directed Poltergeist. It was Tobe Hooper. This is probably my third favorite Tobe Hooper flick. On that note, though, they also do have Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, a wild movie that actually stars Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger and Dennis Hopper. I mean, they really went for it with this movie and missed the mark, but it still makes for a wild throwback watch, especially with all those famous people in it. And it's a nasty Grindhouse flick, too. It's down and dirty Like, it is a wild Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Doesn't make it a good Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, but a bold watch at the very least.
I want these people to know the meaning of horror.
Next up, I've got like an uber 80s ninja movie that is, again, over the top. Technically in all the worst ways possible, but it ends up being one of the best watches on this list. Before that, I want to tell you how today's sponsor, Delete Me, has been helping me protect my personal data all year. Now, unfortunately, almost everyone's personal data, including name and address, are being sold online by data brokers, and what's worse is anybody can purchase this information. And having your personal details available on an open marketplace like that opens you up to threats of identity theft, harassment, stalking, makes you a prime target for phishing scams. But you do have the right to protect that personal data. You can tell these companies to remove it. To do so would take countless hours. There's a ton of these brokers, and you'd have to contact them repeatedly until you knew they took your information down. That is what Delete Me does for you. In fact, they give you a quarterly report that not only shows you how much time they saved you, they show you which sites they're actively removing you from and the list of sites they've cleaned you from completely. The best part is, this is super simple to set up. I think I did it in less than 5 minutes. Now I just get this quarterly report. I can see that they're clearing things up, but more importantly, my phone doesn't ring from telemarketers all day, and my inbox isn't full of junk like it used to be. For a limited time, my viewers can save 20% when you sign up for one of Delete Me's consumer plans. Just visit my link down in the video description or go to joindeleteme.com/flick. Delete Me can even help you protect your entire family with a family plan. It is a smart idea to protect this information nowadays, so don't forget to check out that link. Speaking of strong recommendations though, let's get to some of my absolute favorite Grindhouse flicks, starting with The Miami Connection. Now, this is one of the few movies on this list that is accidentally awful. Like, they really tried to make a good movie here, and there is quite a bit of the human spirit that went into making this movie. You can tell they really wanted to make something good here, and it is an absolute turd. It is hilarious to watch from beginning to end, and not just because it's bad, because it is the most uber 80s thing you have ever seen. It is all of the worst parts of the 80s. Don't get me wrong, I was born in the 80s, I love it. This is an amalgamation of everything that people hate about the 80s. The music's terrible, the hair is worse, the acting is some of the most hilariously bad you're going to see in a movie ever.
My father! I found my father! Oh my God!
It also happens to be a bloody ninja movie with these incredibly wholesome characters. It's bizarre. Like, this group of guys, they're the most wholesome, that's the best way I can put it. They're the most wholesome fellas you could possibly want to run into. And then by the end of the movie, they're lobbing people's heads off with samurai swords. It's wild, fun, cheesy 80s stuff. I absolutely love it. Another great example of this that was made badly on purpose is the now legendary Toxic Avenger. Now, not only did they make a whole slew of sequels to this, there was also a Saturday morning cartoon, and more recently, a remake where Peter Dinklage is playing the Toxic Avenger. Kevin Bacon's in that one, Elijah Wood, he helped produce it. I actually really enjoyed the new remake, and I love the classic. If you've never seen it, this is a raunchy movie as well. You know, like Giga Chad type characters. It's hyper violent, ridiculous, again, over the top in all the best ways for a movie like this. Tons of movies like this get made. Very few deserve the chef's kiss that the Toxic Avenger gets.
The Toxic Avenger! He's a different kind of hero. The Toxic Avenger is coming to your town. Look out.
And then I'll say this next one, it barely qualifies, but it's got all the stuff you want in a Grindhouse flick. It's raunchy, it's bloody, but the craft on this next one is a little too polished for it to qualify, with Brian De Palma's Body Double. Now, Brian De Palma is famous for bloody movies like Carrie and Scarface, and here he's making an Alfred Hitchcock flick. And it's almost like a combination of Rear Window and Vertigo, and I think there's a couple other things mixed in there. But it too has an uber 80s vibe, but Body Double has a lot of the things I like about the 80s. Neon, the synth music, like I said, this thing's got a really polished style. It's got a neo-noir vibe at times, but it's also raunchy as hell. Like, it revolves around the porn industry. Melanie Griffith plays a porn star in it, and it has a really shocking scene. I'm like surprised she did it. It's a shocking movie. It also has kind of a slow pace. I will say, if you're a big Alfred Hitchcock fan, this is a great tribute to Hitchcock flicks. It's just like badder and bloodier.
There are some things that I like to get straight right up front so that there are no misunderstandings later on.
I don't blame you.
I do not do or any variations of that particular bent. No either. I will not. No. Absolutely no. I get $2,000 a day, and I do not work without a contract.
Okay.
Now, moving on to newer Grindhouse flicks, we'll get away from some of the throwbacks, starting with a Tubi original that's one of the newer movies on this list. It's titled Hazard, and it takes place in one car, basically. It's a movie you've seen before. There's Wheelman on Netflix, there's Lock with Tom Hardy, which has little to no action in it. This is a fast-paced action movie, but what's so interesting about it is the camera really never leaves the inside of the car. Now, it does a few times, but all of the car chases take place with you kind of riding in the back seat of the car. It's not the most thrilling vantage point for car chases, which is why they never do that, but as a low-budget option for this little bloody Grindhouse flick, it works. I mean, you're in the car with a driver who is actually hitting some speeds on some city streets, so it's intense, it works for the story, and again, it worked for this low-budget Grindhouse flick really well, and it's a hit for Tubi. It is foreign language, but there's a good English dub and a good Spanish dub, or it's hard for me to tell. The Spanish dub seemed like it was pretty good. 12-Hour Shift is a little known movie. It's got some wild stuff in it. In this movie, you follow a nurse on a late shift, and she's got a secret. It's a bloody one. There's some wild stuff kind of going on behind the curtains in this hospital at night. There's a cooler with something suspicious in it that's getting kind of mixed around, and David Arquette is a wild man in this movie. He doesn't really show up till the final act, but his presence in this movie kind of sets off that final act. This one's kind of a talky, bloody Grindhouse flick with some chatty late-night nurses. I'll say anyone who's a nurse professionally or has a career adjacent to that and likes a good bloody midnight flick, you gotta watch 12-Hour Shift.
Why would you bring this cousin of yours into this if you knew she would kill people?
I sometimes have too much faith in humanity.
That is what I like about you.
Now, a wild one that does have some years on it now, I think it's almost 20 years old, is Black Sheep. Now, I wanted to mention it on this list because I know it's not a classic a lot of people know and remember.
Oh, no.
It's a movie with zombie sheep. That's about all you need to know. That's about all there is. It happens to be a pretty damn good movie about zombie sheep, though. There's a handful of movies with zombie animals out there. I know there's one with rabbits. They're always kind of silly and cheesy. This one is funny a lot. I mean, it is a horror comedy, basically, so it's funny throughout. I remember it riding the line between horror and comedy perfectly. You know, it doesn't take itself seriously at all, but it still goes for some frights.
You girls from out of town?
We're staying over there at my cousin's place. We were looking for beavers.
Well, hell, ain't we all?
Now, one that's all cheese, but I still gotta mention is Zombeavers. It's Zombie Beavers. If you sign up to watch this movie, you get exactly what you pay for, which is nothing in the case of this video. All these movies are free on Tubi. By the way, don't forget to check the list recap at the end of every video. I also list other streaming services hosting these at the same time. If you don't want to watch the Tubi commercials, there's a chance some of these titles are going to be on one of the streaming services you're paying for. And then there's Tusk. Not really a Grindhouse flick, I know, but it kind of tries to be. This is certainly one of the weirder movies written and directed by Kevin Smith. If you've not seen it, it's basically his version of the Human Centipede. What's cool about this flick, though, is Justin Long is awesome in it, but also Michael Parks. He's got multiple roles in Tarantino movies that are all awesome. He really gets to chew up the scenery in Tusk. Like, they put him in the forefront and give him just awesome monologues in this movie. It's creepy as hell. Johnny Depp also has just the most bizarre cameo ever in this flick. It's wild stuff. It's one of those movies, though, that people either seem to love or hate, so we'll move on to another genuine Grindhouse flick with 68 Kill. One I talk about whenever I see it available on streaming. It's currently free on Tubi. In this one, you follow a young man who's head over heels for his smoking hot girlfriend who is just a horrible, horrible person. He's whipped, as they say. He'll do anything she wants. One night, she wants to pull off a robbery. Of course, he goes along with her, and stuff just keeps getting wilder and wilder with 68 Kill. He gets in more and more trouble. His girlfriend becomes more and more depraved, and it's hilarious. Like, the movie does it for laughs, but it's also kind of a wild crime caper. If you clicked on this video wanting the Grindhouse experience, this one never gets too gory or bloody. It goes there sometimes, but for the most part, it's just kind of this down and dirty, raunchy caper that's a lot of fun.
Relax, take a chill pill, okay? You haven't ever killed anyone before.
Because I never have!
Another fun one I'm recommending here right at the wire for Halloween is Wolfcop. There's a very good chance you've seen this thumbnail. This thing's been around on streaming services for years now. This is not just a gimmick. This movie is so much better than you might expect. It's funnier than you would expect. It goes for like a raunchier, depraved, sort of edgier vibe than you might expect. I mean, you look at the cover here, you think they're just kind of having some silly fun. The movie definitely does that, but it also has a surprisingly hard edge to it. I would say fans of things like Shaun of the Dead should definitely check out Wolfcop. It's a hilarious flick with just like ridiculously over-the-top characters.
Hey Lou, don't forget to murder someone else on the way to the car. Low profile, man. That's one more thing for us to explain now, man.
If you ever saw the American flick Quarantine, it's kind of a zombie movie that all takes place in one building. It's basically a frame-for-frame remake of a Spanish horror flick titled Rec, for record. That movie spawned a whole slew of sequels. One of the better true Grindhouse-style sequels it spawned, though, is Rec 3, which actually revolves around a wedding. Now, I loved Quarantine. I saw it in the theater. It freaked me out. I then saw Rec shortly after. It's every bit as good. I mean, they're frame-for-frame remakes. And then Rec made some good sequels. I like the Rec sequels. Rec 3 is kind of a different experience. It's this bloodbath of a wedding, and it's kind of stunning too. So it's this down and dirty, just kind of nasty movie that also has some cinematography in it that just pops. Now, it is just a zombie movie. It's a particularly bloody one, yes, but if you're not in the mood for a zombie flick, I don't know that Rec 3 is going to really offer that much more for you. But like I said, if you want a bloodbath of a zombie flick, Rec definitely delivers. Now, before we go to the list recap, I want to give you one more recommendation. It's actually my favorite movie on this list, but it's not quite truly a Grindhouse movie. In fact, it's just too well written, too well produced, the acting's too good in it, yet it still has that raunchy, nasty, underbelly, hard edge you want in a Grindhouse flick. It's just too good of a movie. Cold in July. This one's got such a twisted story that has multiple kind of twists and turns in it that'll take you by surprise. You've also got Michael C. Hall coming off at Dexter. Sam Shepard is incredible in this movie. And Don Johnson, I love Don Johnson's character in this movie.
Do you have any mirrors on this damn Pinto? Do you know how to use them? Who's gonna pay for it? We could split it.
Oh. Yet it's a slow burn thriller, kind of in the style of like No Country for Old Men or something like that. If you love that genre, but you want something with like a harder Grindhouse edge, this movie delivers. I will say it's got some disturbing elements in it. Then again, so does almost everything else on this list. But that is a movie I strongly recommend you catch while it is still free on Tubi.
Mr. Russell, I'm sorry.
You're, Dane, right? Your boy. He looks a whole lot like you, doesn't he?
As I promised, here's the list recap. I'm always including other streaming services currently hosting these same titles, but availability changes monthly. So make sure you've clicked that subscribe button if you'd like to get future recommendations from me here on the channel.